everybody, it's Jess here with Blessed Jess. Thank you so much for watching. Welcome to another Disney story time. So I have lots of footage from today to show you guys, and I'm going to be telling you guys about our first full day in Disney World and what we did. Stay tuned, lots of footage. I decided to do this story time just because there was no way to safely vlog in the parks trying to keep up with kids, and you couldn't really hear, the audio was really bad and stuff. So I just got a lot of videos and pictures, and I'm gonna be telling you guys everything, like how the kids liked it, highs, lows, what we ate, all the things. So we got into Orlando the night before on a Friday night. Got the kids to bed, got them all settled. We were staying off property. My in-laws, David's mom and dad, were with us. They have a condo that they can get rooms at down in Orlando. So we were able to stay with them. We had like a 2-bedroom condo. So the situation with sleeping was there was 2 bedrooms. They were staying in 1 bedroom, and then it had like a king size bed. So they were staying in there, and it had a bathroom connected. My brother-in-law was also there, David's brother, who has autism and also has a disability pass. So when I talk about the disability pass, I'll have lots of things to tell y'all because we had 2 people in our party that had a disability pass. That's besides the point. He was sleeping on the pull-out sofa in the living room. And then in our bedroom, there was 2 full beds. So me and David were on one, which was an experience because we're used to king size. Me and David were on one, and Lucy and Nate were on one. And then we had a pack and play for Mark. And then we had a bathroom too. So it was a really nice setup. We're so grateful that we were able to stay with them in the condo because Disney is so expensive. Like the tickets, the food, the parking, like all the things, the gas to get there. Like I don't think we could have afforded, and also having to pay for a hotel. So very, very blessed that we got to stay for free with my in-laws. I mean, they paid for it. So anyway, we get there, the kids get a good night's sleep. My mother-in-law got some groceries. I brought groceries that was like already in the car, but she got some like cold stuff. I packed our bags. So we had a backpack that had drinks and snacks. I had Nate's bag that had a change of clothes, his EpiPen. We brought sunscreen. Like I was very methodical about how I packed this bag. Got all that done. And then the next day, the plan was to go to Hollywood Studios. So my in-laws were only going to 2 out of the 4 parks, and this was a day they did not go with us. I was very nervous because this was the first time me and David were going like by ourselves with the kids to the park. And, you know, we have 1 child that has special needs. We also have a 2-year-old, and we have Lucy too. So 3 kids. I feel like we're like outnumbered. So I was really nervous about making sure. So our game plan going in was we were going to have Mark in the stroller, except for, you know, as soon as you like get in line for a ride, you have to park your stroller and get him out. But just walking around, he was going to be in the stroller. Somebody was going to be holding on to Nate, and then Lucy was going to just stay right by us. And of course, I was watching out for her too. So we get there at the park. I think it opened at 8:30. We got there at like 8. There was hardly, I mean, there was a lot of people there, but not as much as I first thought. We were able to get a really good parking spot. We walked up. We had to wait for about 20 minutes. This was the hardest part for Nate. And this is why the disability pass was so awesome. Like, I'm going to be doing a whole video about how we access the disability pass, but that's just for rides. Like, that doesn't include waiting in line to get into the park. It doesn't include like having to wait for food, shows, stuff like that. It's just mostly rides. Sometimes you can do a disability pass for meeting a character. We did do a couple of those. But being like standing in line to get into the park, we didn't know how long it was going to take. That's why we weren't planning on getting there that early. Just sometimes, you know, by the time you park and walk, it takes a while. So we ended up getting there like 20 minutes early, and he did not like having to stand. Like it was, you know, if you've ever been to Disney, like the crowd to get in, it's like, it's thick and you are squished in. So we had given him his headphones, which were amazing. They're just like crowd noise blockers. I mean, there's no like electronic to them. They're just like the noise canceling headphones. And I just kind of let him sit on the floor, and I kind of just stood over him, and he did really good like that. So he just sat on the asphalt, and I kind of like blocked him from being stepped on, and we waited, and we got into the park. No problem at all. It's really awesome. Like, since we've been to Disney, everything is digital. Like everything's on your app. You can access, like there was some stuff last time, but so much more 4 years later. All of his disability pass access is on the app. Our theme park tickets were on the app. I just scanned my phone. It was really, really nice not to keep up with all that stuff. We got into the park and we went ahead and accessed our first ride with a disability pass. So what's so great about that, if you don't end up watching the video, I'm just going to do a little thing right here. Once you say, like, we wanted to ride the Mickey and Minnie's Runway Railway, it's where if you've been to Disney Hollywood Studios before, it's where the Great Movie Ride used to be. So when we first got there, the line was like 20 minutes long. So we could just go to so the first thing we wanted to do was go to the Mickey Minnie's Runway Railway. Say that, found out fast. So it was like a 20-minute wait. So what we were able to do is go into the app and go to the disability button, because we had already preset it up. You can do it like ahead of time, which I recommend doing. So we'd already had it set up, so Nate was already approved and everything. So we just hit that button and said we wanted to access this ride. And what we were able to do is wait outside. Like we just sat on a park bench. There wasn't a bunch of people around, and we waited until it was our turn. So we weren't waiting in line. We still had to wait the full 20 minutes. We were just not waiting in line. When it was our turn, they give you like a time, and you go up to the lightning lane, because I had some people say, like, isn't it rude to go like walk past people that are in line? It's not like that. You go to the lightning lane, which people pay to access that. So you're in a separate line anyway. It's not like you're just cutting in front of everyone. So what you do is you have to scan. This is a little bit of a learning curve because I did not realize this. They had to teach me how to do it. I had to scan Nate's pass first, and then it would throw up a picture of him, and the cast member would have to okay it. They saw this. I didn't see it, but that's just how it works because they want to make sure the person with the disability is the one accessing it. So we would have to throw up Nate's picture first, and then we would have to scan the rest of our cards to be able to go in. Once we go in the line, we had to wait maybe like another 5 minutes. It's kind of like the old fast pass system where you still have to wait a little bit, but it's not like having to wait the full time in the line. Okay, so we get into the first ride. Mark has no idea what's going on. Like, he is terrified. And y'all, in November, we took the kids to Dollywood. Do you guys remember this? Nate rode this giant wooden roller coaster. He asked to go on it, and it terrified him. Like, he has never been afraid of rides before, ever. His whole life, he's ridden on roller coasters. He's ridden on everything. Every ride that like David would go on, Nate would want to go to. Well, he rode this ride at Dollywood, and it has completely made him terrified of rides. I was not expecting this. So we get in line, and he's terrified we're getting on a roller coaster. And this kind of carried on for the rest of the trip. He was very anxious this trip. Once we did the rides, he loved them and he wanted to do them again. But the first time we went on a ride, he just was very nervous, and we kept having to reassure him this is not a roller coaster. But the Mickey and Minnie ride was really, really fun. The kids all were scared though, because a lot of the new rides in Disney, there's a lot of like, I don't know how to else describe it. It's very submersive. Like, you feel air in your face when things go by, you know, everything's 3D, and yeah, so all the kids were kind of scared. So after we did that, we did some smaller rides. We did, one of the kids' favorite things we did was the Disney Junior show. All three of them loved that. It was like a Disney Junior dance party. Mark, it's probably his favorite thing we did all week. He loved that. What are some other things we did? Toy Story. We loved the Toy Story land. The Toy Story Mania has always been one of my kids' favorites. The first time we went through it, Mark was terrified, and I had him, I think he was with me the first time, and they said I could put him in my lap. And so I had Lucy next to me and Mark on my lap, and he was screaming through the whole ride. If you've never been on the Toy Story Mania ride, it's like a game, like you're trying to, like, it's like an arcade game, but they move you pretty quickly through it, and it's 3D and stuff. It's a lot of fun. But he was terrified the first time. He had no idea what was going on. And then we saw over in the Toy Story land, there's this alien spin kind of a ride. It's almost like the teacups, sort of, or like a scrambler, but it's the aliens from Toy Story, the little, you know, the claw aliens. And I knew Lucy would love it. I knew she would love that ride. And she was really nervous about getting on it. She was really scared because it kind of whips around pretty quick. And so I told her, I could tell she was on the fence about wanting to get on it. And I said, what if we do that and then we go get a Mickey bar? figured I could bribe her with a Mickey bar. And so she said, okay. Ended up being one of her favorite rides the whole entire ride, the whole entire trip. So we rode that several times. We rode Toy Story Mania several times. They love the 3D shows, the Muppets 3D. At the end of the afternoon, we watched Beauty and the Beast. All three of them were enamored by Beauty and the Beast show. It was so fun. We got to do so much, and Nate did not get overstimulated because of this disability pass. It was such a game changer for him. It was amazing. I cannot say enough good things, and thank you to Disney for having something like this for kids who need it and adults who need it. I'll be talking about using it with my brother-in-law too when he joins us tomorrow for Animal Kingdom. I know I've gotten people comment that say like, well, it's not really fair, or like it must be nice. If I could have my child not have a disability, I would choose that. Like it is not worth getting to not have to wait in a line, you know, like we struggle every day. Like it is, to be able to have something like this, yes, is a perk, but it's not a perk I would choose, you know? So, it made it actually enjoyable for Nate. And like I said, we still had to wait, but what was nice was we could go ahead and schedule our next attraction while we were still on, or like before we even got on the ride. So once you're buzzed in, so like say we're at Toy Story Land, and I'm going to talk more about this. I know I'm going off on the disability pass, but it was so awesome. Say we just scan in to go to Toy Story and we need to wait like 5 minutes to get on the ride. I can go ahead and reserve the next one. Once you have scanned in for the ride, you can go ahead and reserve the next one. So by the time we walk over there, everything's online. By the time we walk over there, and it's almost time, we don't have to wait that long. So it was really, really nice. Highly recommend if you have special need kids, adults in your life. It makes Disney a whole lot better. Anyway, so I want to also tell you guys where we ate lunch and the fun snacks we had. So as soon as we got to Disney, the kids like saw all the yummy, delicious snacks, you know, and we decided that we were going to go ahead and buy a popcorn bucket, because the popcorn buckets are like $13, but then you can refill them all week for $2.25. I think it was $2.25. So y'all, the popcorn in Disney is so good. I don't know what they do to it. It is delicious. We went through many buckets of popcorn. That was Nate's choice. Every time we asked him what he wanted for a snack, he wanted popcorn. I also had snacks in my bag, and we went through Capri Suns, and I highly recommend bringing Capri Suns and crackers and goldfish and stuff like that, because you're walking a ton and you're going to need a ton of snacks for your kids. I also really thought it was helpful that Disney will give you a cup of water at any like quick service restaurant. You can just go up and they'll give you a cup of water. I brought my Mio Squirt stuff. That was very helpful. They only have paper straws, so if your kids don't like that, bring some extra straws. I brought straws every day, either the reusable ones or plastic ones or whatever, because the paper ones dissolve in your mouth and it's disgusting. So we definitely brought those. We decided at Hollywood Studios that we were going to go into a sit-down restaurant. It was a very nice break from being outside. It was really, really hot that day. And so I tried to get the Sci-Fi Drive-In restaurant, and it was completely booked. I was up at 6 a.m. the day the reservations opened. I could not get in. So we had already eaten before a few times ago. We went to the 50s Primetime Cafe, and it's set up like Mom's Kitchen, like back in the 50s. It's so fun, like the vibe in there. All the waitresses and waiters like kind of tell you like, get your elbows off the table, eat your vegetables, all in a very fun. It's not a mean-spirited. It's very fun. We've eaten there before. And so I thought the kids would get a kick out of that. So that's where we ate lunch. It was like 1:30, kind of a lunch. So we had kind of snacked a little bit and then had a later lunch. Y'all, the food was so good. So I thought I would show you a little clip here of the food. I got the fried chicken. I asked for white meat. The amount of food, like if you go there, share with someone. They gave me 2 breasts and 2 wings, plus it came with mashed potatoes and corn. It was delicious. I didn't even eat half of this. It was so much food. Nate ended up eating a lot of my fried chicken because his was, he got the kids' meals. I will say the kids' meals are not very big. and he got like a little tiny cup of mac and cheese, and he didn't really like the sides that came with it, like carrots or apples or whatever. Lucy got chicken fingers. Mark just kind of ate snacks and shared bites with us. David got the like sampler platter that comes with fried chicken and pot roast and meatloaf. And he said his very favorite was the meatloaf, which is weird because David doesn't really like meatloaf. So that's saying something. He said it was like the most delicious thing in the whole plate. And so it was so nice. We ended up getting some onion rings as an appetizer because everybody was hangry. And our waitress was so nice, and it was just nice to sit there and relax and get out of the heat. It was the only sit-down restaurant we went in all of Disney because it's very expensive, and you know, we just did a lot of quick service stuff the rest of the week, but that was really fun. And if you ever have a chance to eat there, I would definitely recommend it. It's one of our favorites. So that's what we had for lunch. We ended up leaving for the day. I'm trying to think if there's any other major thing to tell y'all. We rode a bunch of stuff twice. We rode Toy Story 3 times, I think. We rode the Alien Spin twice. We did all the 3D shows. There's another show that I feel like we're forgetting that we did. The kids got to meet Olaf. Oh, the Frozen sing-along was also really good. They enjoyed that. And we got to meet Olaf. I was wondering how Nate was going to react to the characters because the last time we went, he was super skittish about meeting characters, but this time he seemed a little more into it. He didn't want to like go up and hug them as much, but he would like give them a high five or like let them take a picture with him. So Lucy loved getting to meet the characters, but not as much as she used to. Like, she used to get a kick, like the characters were her favorite thing, and she told me this time, she's like, I know the characters aren't really real. I'm like, you do? But she still liked meeting some of them, so she got to meet Olaf. We got to just see Chip and Dale just randomly walking down the street, so that was really cool. There's just a vibe in Disney that's just unmatched. It's so fun, even though it's crowded and it's hot. It really is just fun. We love to shop around in the stores. We had given Lucy a souvenir budget, so she was kind of searching around for what she wanted to get on this day. And we ended up leaving the park about 5:30, which I think was really good. We got there at 8:30 in the morning, and we had told David's mom and dad that we might bring Mark home. You know, if he got really done in the afternoon, we might bring him home. He was free. Mark is 2, so any kid under 3 is free. And so I didn't feel like bad if he had to leave early. I feel like we didn't pay for him, you know, so if he only could last an hour or two and something happened, you know, but the other ones that we paid for, I'm like, we've got to get our money's worth. Not really. I mean, we went into this trip going, you know what, this trip is for the kids. Whatever happens, happens. You know, if we don't get to ride all of our favorite rides, if a kid has a meltdown and we have to leave, like, we're just going to try to make this as chill as possible. And I feel like we really, really did for the most part. But no, Mark hung in there. He did take a couple naps in the stroller, and it was just a really fun day. It was hot. This is one of our hottest days. It cooled off a little bit later, but it was really, really hot, especially when we were waiting for lunch. Even though we had a reservation, had to wait for about 30 minutes. And that was a hot part of the day to have to wait in the sun. But it was so nice. And then we took the kids back home. David took Nate and Lucy swimming. Mark was completely done by then. When there's a beautiful pool, I'll be showing you guys some footage of that later, but they have water slides, and it was so relaxing to cool off in the pool and stuff. So David took them to the pool, and I believe this was the night. I'm trying to remember if this is the night. I don't think we ended up eating it. There's another night that me and David went out after and ate, but I don't think we did this night. I think we were still really full from that 50s primetime lunch, and we just kind of snacked through dinner. So anyway, that is Hollywood Studios. And at the end of this day, I just was so excited about the trip and how well everybody did. Nate did really great staying with us. Whoever wasn't pushing the stroller just had Nate by the hand, and he didn't with Nate, he doesn't try to get away from us. Like, he wants to stay with us. It's just sometimes he gets distracted, but we just really made sure to have a good grip on him. He had his little tracker on his shoe, GPS tracker. And so I was able to, just have a little bit more peace of mind that even if he were to get lost, I would be able to find him. But he didn't. He stayed right with us. He had a blast. He liked most of the rides. So stay tuned. Tomorrow is Animal Kingdom. We went to bed fairly early that night, the Hollywood Studios night, because we were getting up early Animal Kingdom opened at 7:30 and we were going with the whole family. So stick around, more stories to come. I hope you guys are enjoying these vlogs and the pictures and the memories. I'm enjoying talking about them and documenting them so we can watch them back. I love you guys so much. If you like the video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below and subscribe if you're new. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.